Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to NXT's Vengeance Day, and we are kicking it off with the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships, as it will be Fatal Attraction's own Fallon Henley and JC Jane taking on the team of Bayley and Lyra Valkyria for those NXT Tag Team Championships. And certainly we'll see if JC Jane and Fallon Henley can get the job done over the experience of Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Obviously, Bayley has been around this game for a very, very long time, and Lyra Valkyria kind of recently tag teaming, probably over the past year or so, and there's been some ups and downs with that tag team. But hey, that first NXT of the year, walking out with the tag team championships, you couldn't ask for a better situation for those two. But now you get yourself a title defense against Fatal Attraction, which certainly will not be easy tonight. Bayley and Lyra Valkyria are going to have to bring their A game. Certainly with not only this matchup, but from top to bottom, this card's very, I would say, very impressive in terms of what you're going to be seeing, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of different varieties. We've got plenty of tag team matches, a hell of a main event with Cody Rhodes and Gunther for the NXT Championship, and also tonight an 8-man contest, 4v4, NXT versus TNA. We'll see how Team TNA will be faring against NXT, and that will be the matchup after this very matchup. So there's certainly a lot to really look forward to, I would say, when it comes to just in general, honestly, with the men's and women's divisions tonight, because certainly this is the last time you see NXT before we start our new adventure into 2026. But we'll see how everything goes. But here comes the Bird Lady herself, one half of the women's tag team champions, Lyra Valkyria. Very impressive young lady is Lyra Valkyria, and we'll see how she continues to grow and develop as a tag team wrestler. Obviously not going to be known for doing tag team competition all the time. Lyra can get some singles action in as well, same with Bayley. But hey, if it's going to get them some championship gold and kind of pass the time until maybe there's a quote unquote opening to go after a championship, hey, this might be the time to do it. Lyra Valkyria, she seems like she's enjoying the moment. She's seizing the moment as this is her championship with Bayley, her role model. Lyra Valkyria looked up to a lot of women growing up, including Becky Lynch, Bayley, and many others to get here. But now it's her moment, and we'll see how she fares on a big stage like this for NXT Vengeance Day. And now here comes the role model Bayley. And then for this matchup, ladies and gentlemen, I kind of question what Bayley is her kind of going into this matchup. And what I mean by that is, like, what is her strategy? She's the veteran in this matchup between all three of these women. So Bayley's going to have to lead Lyra Valkyria. Obviously, they won the tag team championships for a reason, but Bayley's going to have to be that leader that she is. She's going to have to lead Lyra Valkyria to victory. And my question is, really for Bayley, is how long do you keep yourself in this matchup? You got a lot of these young bloods in this matchup. Do you allow do you allow Lyra Valkyria to do most of the work, or will Bayley, can she have a long match? Let's say if she's been in there for like 10 minutes or whatever, does she need to get a tag, or is she just fine? I mean, there's a lot of questions a part of this. And we'll see how Bayley handles all of this tonight. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships.
The following contest is a tag team match scheduled for one fall and is for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship. Introducing the challengers, the team of Fallon Henley and JC
And now here we go. We are ready for our first matchup of the evening for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. What is the result that's about to happen? Are we going to see new tag team champions? We are about to find out. Referee rings the bell. Here we go. Lyra Valkyria, Fallon Henley will kick us off here, and Lyra coming right out of the gate. Now with a pinfall early on. Ooh, very close to a 2 count. And Lyra was hoping that was going to be the kill shot. And certainly if I'm Bayley and Lyra Valkyria and I'm leading this NXT Women's Tag Team Division, hey, what better way to showcase our skills than by defeating Fatal Attraction within a couple minutes? Set the tone early. Be right place, right time, and just kind of work on one superstar, take out the other, and just really go ham on their opponent. Certainly there's going to be different strategies for both teams. Obviously there's a championship advantage for Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, but obviously they're not going to go down that route, at least you wouldn't think, as Bayley from the top rope district. Here we go, flying crossbody, turns her inside out into another pinfall opportunity, but just a 1 count. But we know for Fatal Attraction, they're going to be desperate. They're going to be willing to do anything in their power to get themselves an opportunity to walk out victorious. So if they have to play underhanded, they will certainly do that. So Bayley and Lyra have to be ready for that anytime tonight. Later on tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have a massive women's matchup in the NXT Women's Championship division, as Roxanne defends her Women's Championship live tonight against Blake Monroe. This is a second opportunity for Blake Monroe. She lost in the very first NXT of the new year, and she earned that opportunity in a tag team match to get another opportunity. So we'll see how Blake Monroe fares tonight live here at NXT. It's a nice tag. Here comes JC Jane with a big gut punch there to Bayley, but Bayley and JC Jane now are going to exchange some blows. And then JC's like, nope, we're not exchanging anymore. And now, oh, wait a minute. Bayley going to try to get a tag. JC Jane telling Bayley to get up to her feet. Oh, goodness. Very sharp elbow to the back of the head there. Roll through. Neck breaker there from the apron into the pinfall. Is this enough? Ooh, very close to a 2. This is what JC Jane needs to do. Cut off Bayley's intentions of getting a tag and really be very brutal with Bayley. That's what JC Jane's got to do. You got to take out the most experienced wrestler in this situation. And certainly this seems like, well, at least momentarily, was the plan. And now Bayley will look to go to work here. Maybe gonna look to get a tag. Yes, she does. Here comes the Bird Lady herself, Lyra Valkyria. It's a good old-fashioned basic tag team combination there. And now Lyra gonna look to take out Fallon Henley, or at least a little bit of a cheap shot there of sorts. And now Fallon Henley, oh, right behind the referee's back. Referee did not see that. And now Fallon Henley attacking Lyra Valkyria as JC Jane drops Bayley. It was all behind the referee's back. He did not see it. Perfectly legal in that situation. As Lyra and JC Jane continue to go back and forth. Oh, another sharp elbow. This time right to the nose there of Lyra Valkyria. Certainly not a move you want to continue to take to the face. Certainly you can break some teeth, break some bones in the facial features there of Lyra. JC Jane's a hard hitter. She's one of the hardest hitting women in all of WWE, so you got to be very careful when you take her on. It's Fallon Henley, nice takedown, and look at these strikes. Big forearm strikes there. It's now Fallon Henley from the second rope with a nice frog splash right to the midsection. Could you imagine JC Jane, Fallon Henley being your women's tag team champions going into the next episode of NXT? Could be you could say very interesting to say the least. I mean, JC Jane being the leader of Fatal Attraction, get you some experience in that women's tag team division, and getting themselves a big win as a big famouser there from Fallon Henley. I mean, knocking off Bayley and Lyra Valkyria certainly would do things for Fatal Attraction, and it almost came true. Almost knocking off Lyra Valkyria there, but now Fallon Henley cannot get too frustrated here. She has to continue to bring the fight to Lyra Valkyria, because Lyra Valkyria, you know, she's on edge right now. She took that famouser, it was got a 2.5 there, and it was not enough. And now, oh, nice spinning heel kick right to the face there. Is that enough? Oh, very close. Almost like a spinning leg kick, not a heel kick, but still very effective nonetheless. And oh, nice enziguri, catches her off guard, but just enough for Lyra Valkyria to get herself a tag to the role model. And Bayley with a Bayley to belly. Bayley to belly. Is that enough to retain the championships? Ooh, very close. Fallon Henley had to break it up, or had to kick out, pardon me, as Lyra takes out JC Jane. This might be the moment they need. Here we go, Bayley lining them up. Bam! Down she goes, and that should be all she wrote. 1, 2, 3. Bayley and Lyra Valkyria retain tonight in a highly competitive women's tag team matchup. Couldn't ask for any more, ladies and gentlemen. A hard-hitting matchup. It just was too much at the end of the night. Lyra Valkyria, you know, she blocked JC Jane from really coming in the ring and breaking that up. Fallon Henley was able to kick out at probably like 2.5, maybe 2 3/4, and Lyra would throw her out the ring, and Lyra did everything she could to keep her outside so Bayley could beat her down in the ring and hit that rose plant in the middle of the ring. And Bayley and Lyra Valkyria are still your women's tag team champions. It's right here, starting the downfall here. Bam, Bayley to belly, and right here Lyra Valkyria's body kind of blocking her, and she kind of focused on her, and then Lyra tosses her outside the ring, and Bayley would be like, nope, down you go. Bam, face plant right into the mat, and then just like that, it was all she wrote with the 1, 2, and 3. Congratulations to Bayley and Lyra Valkyria on retaining the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships tonight, live here at NXT Vengeance Day. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to head over to this matchup here on NXT Vengeance Day. It is the 4 versus 4 NXT versus TNA. And here comes a member of TNA, Mustafa Ali, former member of the WWE roster. He would leave WWE a couple years back, kind of betting on himself, you know, not really much traction here in WWE. And seems like he's gaining some traction here in TNA, and now he's representing TNA, one of the biggest acts in TNA, and certainly Mustafa Ali will look to show WWE and NXT, be like, hey, you could have done better, you should have done better with me in WWE. But we'll see how that goes. It's going to be a massive 4 versus 4 matchup live tonight, TNA versus NXT. And certainly with the guys that NXT has, I mean, or I should say TNA has, I mean, they're certainly going to push them to the limit, but the guys that NXT has as well are no slouches. I mean, Miz, R-Truth, Apollo Crews, I mean, you can't count these guys out. And even Ricky Saints, as there is Frankie Kazarian making his way down to the ring. Certainly a man that has been in this business for a very long time. He's been here in TNA for a little bit of time now, and certainly we'll see what he adds. And him being in a WWE ring probably feels a little weird for him, since he's been wrestled all over the place, besides really WWE. But big time moment, and maybe weird for him to actually see a big crowd like this as well. But nonetheless, hey, 4 versus 4, anything really goes in this matchup. Obviously, it's a traditional tag team matchup still, 4 versus 4. So probably going to be a drawn-out match in terms of a lot of breakups in this matchup, I suppose. But still, I mean, a lot of stuff is going to happen in this matchup, and it really will show, hey, is TNA going to continue to dominate NXT, or will NXT get a rebound? They did recently on NXT, in that main event at least, when Gunther and Cody Rhodes knocked off Nick Nemeth and Kurt Angle, as there is the Monster Abyss, who knocked off R-Truth the other night on NXT, when we saw, like we said, two TNA winners in their matches against NXT, going 2-1 that whole entire night there. But Monster Abyss, I would say he's a wild card, man. You just don't know what to expect from him. R-Truth, him and R-Truth went back and forth for a little bit, and even Abyss couldn't really hit that black hole slam that he likes to hit, and it just, luckily for him, he did enough damage throughout the match to walk out victorious. It's a bad, bad man is Abyss. And ladies and gentlemen, this is your last NXT pay-per-view before we get to a different version into the 2026 year. Very curious to see how all this is going to end tonight, as well as later on today when we have that Saturday night's main event. As here comes RVD, who had a big win over Ricky Saints on NXT. Well, I should say on the TNA episode of NXT, but certainly that was a good tough test for Ricky Saints. I thought he honestly had him dead to rights at points in that matchup, but RVD, the man, he continues to get older, but he still looks like he has not lost a step in the middle of that ring. Especially when he connected with that frog splash to put away Ricky Saints. RVD very close to becoming Universal Champion here in the series in 2016, pardon me, but would end up losing to Triple H. Triple H would retain his Universal Championship at that time, but certainly, RVD, when he came back years and years ago, was a huge threat, and he continues to be, even if he's on a different brand. Is now, here comes Apollo Crews. And for Apollo Crews, I mean, he was very impressive, from a former United States champion to also a former tag team champion here in this series. It's been a couple years since he's held a championship, but it might be 2026 might be the year he turns things around. It's just going to be a little difficult. There's just so many new guys, and also you got everyone jockeying for positions. So there's times where, if you don't continue to win at a good pace, certainly you may kind of fall out of order, unfortunately, and that's kind of what's happened with Apollo Crews, unfortunately for him. But hey, he's still here in WWE. He's still scratching and clawing, and what a better moment for him here in NXT to, hey, get a big win for NXT tonight. Certainly, maybe you get more opportunities. Years and years ago, he was a part of Cruise Control. Plenty of big names a part of that group, from the likes of himself, Buddy Murphy, Otis, Chad Gable. It was a big-time group that they had back in the day. But like I said, it's a big moment for Apollo Crews. He's going to have to just take it one step at a time in this match and not overdo it. He showed that he can be a top superstar in WWE. As we now wait for the next NXT superstar to make his way down to the ring, it is Ricky Saints making his way down to the ring. Big time matchup against RVD recently. They're on TNA. And certainly it was a hostile environment, but I thought Ricky Saints held RVD, or took him on pretty well in that matchup. I mean, Stark, Mr. Ricky Saints, pardon me. He has a lot of potential, does Ricky Saints? And he showed it against RVD. RVD, just a veteran in this business that he is, very wise man that he is. He was able to, just have better moments in that match, obviously. Hit that 5-star frog splash at the very end to keep Ricky Saints down. It was very close, but it does not matter at the end of the night. And we'll see if TNA will be able to carry that momentum coming out of those matchups. Certainly, you got a lot of talent in this matchup on both sides, and TNA certainly, I would say, more veterans a part of that group. And you got some veterans, I guess you could say, on the on the NXT side of things. Obviously, Miz has been around a long time. Same with R-Truth. Apollo Crews has been around a little bit as well. Ricky Saints just joining NXT a while back. So, I mean, yeah, there's some leadership there on NXT. Probably guys that wouldn't necessarily be NXT guys, but they got drafted over here to NXT. Is R-Truth gonna sing with the crowd here tonight, saying "What's up?" And R-Truth, he put up a tough test, I would say, against Abyss. Coming up a bit short, but hey, I mean, not an easy job to deal with a guy that his moniker is the Monster Abyss, a man that's coming out of a asylum of sorts, or prison. So I think R-Truth did just fine in that matchup, and we'll see how he fares tonight in this 4 versus 4 matchup. A lot on the line in this matchup. NXT's got to do anything in their power to slow down the momentum that TNA has, because if they don't, NXT could be in trouble. As we now wait for the 4th and final member of the group here at NXT Vengeance Day, it is the awesome one, The Miz. This man, The Miz, is a former Intercontinental Champion. Multi-time Intercontinental Champion. Even former U.S. Champion as well. So we'll see how The Miz fares tonight live here on NXT, looking to showcase what he is very accomplishable to do in his career, winning championships, leading his team to victory. Obviously, he's held his fair share of championships. He's led groups here in Universe Mode, from obviously Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas back in the day was his Miztourage. So, I mean, and even with his wife at his side at times throughout the series. So, Miz is trying to figure out something in his career to really win more championships. And, well, it could be here in NXT. Maybe it rejuvenates him. We'll see tonight in this big time 4 versus 4 matchup that is about to get underway in just a matter of moments. Referee rings the bell, and look at Apollo Crews coming right out of the gate there. Look at Crews talking some trash to the TNA corner real quick like. Certainly, Crews wasn't too happy about getting attacked backstage there by Mustafa Ali. And the thing is about Ali, he came from the elevator out of nowhere attacking Apollo Crews, and when he was attacking him, it wasn't like a normal attack. It was more, he was putting him through the plexiglass, or the glass protection of the security area backstage in the parking lot area. So this wasn't, like I mentioned, it wasn't like, a small little sneak attack from behind. No, this was premeditated, it felt like. Very, very brutal, and it's gonna tend to add up here. Wait a minute, roll up here. Could you imagine this is how they defeat TNA? No, 2 count. Certainly TNA would not be too happy about losing a matchup like that. Losing up in a cradle of sorts. As now, nice maneuver into the Northern Lights suplex pinfall attempt. But nope, not even a 1 count. So Crews and Ali, certainly these guys have had a past. Comes to a head tonight. We all thought they were good friends, and well, it turned out to be Ali willing to do anything it takes to really do his own thing. As now we got Abyss and Ricky Saints going at it. Ricky Saints with a swinging neckbreaker takes down the Monster Abyss. And now Ricky Saints wants to inflict some pain on Mustafa Ali as well. But you got to be careful. You cannot turn your back on the Monster Abyss, as he's connecting with a bear hug for a little bit before Ricky Saints gets himself out of that dirty situation. Nice DDT impaling the Monster Abyss into the pinfall, but no, still too early. And in this matchup, ladies and gentlemen, I think you pick a superstar and keep them in the matchup as much as possible. And what I mean by that is like, hey, maybe cut off the ring. Let's say, Ricky Saints and I'm Abyss. I'm keeping Ricky Saints in the corner the whole time, and it's going to be a 4-on-1 situation for the most of this matchup. We are not allowing Ricky Saints to get out of it. He's going to have to hit a reversal. He's going to have to, poke me in the eye, something to justify getting him out of that corner. But that is just me. As now Abyss off the ropes, big time splash, folding R-Truth, brutalizing those ribs that he has there, and again. And for Abyss, I mean, he doesn't give a damn. He could be in the corner right now like he is with the enemies, and he could still beat them down. As now Abyss has him up. Oh my goodness, almost like a rack attack variation backbreaker, whatever you want to call it. Highly effective. It almost was enough for Team TNA to knock off NXT tonight. And as this matchup continues, ladies and gentlemen, we have plenty left in the tank for you for tonight, including big main event. We got a NXT Championship on the line, as it will be Cody Rhodes defending his NXT Championship against the Ring General Gunther. Both men coming up with a win on NXT in that tag team matchup. As Frankie Kazarian here, super kick hits flush on the face of R-Truth, but R-Truth realizes he's had to get himself out of that situation. Ooh, into a big boot as well from Truth. But also, like we mentioned, NXT Championship, NXT Women's Championship, Roxanne versus Blake Monroe, plus Julia versus Stephanie Valkyrie later on in the evening as well. We got plenty of tag team action. We got the Usos defending against Fraxium. I'm really looking forward to that tag team matchup. Really going to see how that's going to fare. As Apollo Crews misses wildly, coming up a bit short there. And also tonight, Thea Hale versus Candice LeRae, North American Championship on the line, as well as Big E and Trick Williams taking on the New Day. Another matchup I'm really looking forward to. So we got a little bit of variety tonight in the men's and women's divisions. As now Apollo Crews with the suplexes here. Is it time for good old-fashioned suplex city here? And Apollo Crews showing you what he brought back in the day when he had opportunities as a hook of the leg and RVD right there to break it up. And RVD getting face-to-face with Apollo Crews, and Crews did not take that too kindly. Crews has him up. Down goes RVD. It seems like Crews may be looking for a tag. Kazarian not going to allow that to happen. And here we go. Drops him on his head and neck area. That could be the knockout blow. Isn't enough? No. R-Truth right there. And he's face-to-face, but he eats an enziguri. Frankie Kazarian giving out 3-for-1 specials, a rarity here in Universe mode. It's a nice leg drop there from Kazarian, the veteran here in TNA. Is now Crews looking for the military press slam possibly. And now Crews setting up Kazarian. Nice moonsault there into the pinfall. Is that enough for NXT? No, just a 1 count. R-Truth seems like he's trying to get out of the ring, but obviously he's a lot of guys in the ring to do that. And now Crews, look at that spine buster. Pinfall opportunity. Is this enough? 2, 3, yes it is. Team NXT knocks off TNA. Holy mackerel, ladies and gentlemen, what a matchup. Apollo Crews, he's showed you guys the potential, little flashbacks of what came his way, and I think TNA was expecting them to Kazarian to kick out there, but it just did not work out at the end of this matchup. I mean, he laid down some wood later on in the matchup, but man, that leg drop, he was focused on R-Truth, and Apollo Crews would make him pay. You see this military press right here over his head into a combination of the moonsault, and then eventually Crews is like, I'm going to go ahead and try to finish this with a old-fashioned spine buster. And look at Ali was trying to get in there just a little too early or too late in this moment. Man, he was right there. And that gives TNA a loss, another loss, getting the momentum back for NXT was Apollo Crews. Big moment for these guys. They needed it after TNA has been running roughshod as of late. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for some tag team action, as it is going to be the New Day's used to always say Big E, but Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods taking on the team of Big E and Trick Williams. And oh, wait a minute. Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston being accompanied down to the ring by the big man, Omos. Okay, so we got some turning of events here, ladies and gentlemen. Omos, the former NXT Tag Team Champion. Obviously, they lost the championships to the Usos on the very first NXT of the year, and they were given the opportunity to leave. Omos stayed here, it seems, and obviously Obafemi left. He's on Friday Night SmackDown now. So the question is now, Omos is coming out here with this New Day. So I'm curious if this is a... what's the situation here? Is Omos officially joining the New Day? Is this a testing out period? What exactly is this? But if you have Omos a part of this group, New Day may have having to be I would say be taken more seriously as of this, because this is not a group to be messed with. Certainly one of the best tag teams of all time, and they've struggled last couple years. But if you throw in Omos, a part of this group, this New Day becomes even more dangerous. As now here comes the NXT North American Champion, Trick Williams, coming out here to whoop that Trick. And this rivalry between both sides really came to a head on the first episode of NXT. So Kofi Kingston at WrestleMania, he won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, where you get to pick whoever you want to. Well, or when I say pick whoever you want to, you get to challenge for whatever championship in the mid-card scene. You know, it could be the U.S. Championship, Intercontinental Championship, whatever it may be. Well, the New Day got drafted here to NXT. And certainly with that going on, that means that we would see Trick Williams and Kofi Kingston go at it. Trick Williams would defeat Kofi Kingston in a highly competitive matchup, but after the matchup, Xavier Woods would beat down Trick Williams, leading to Big E coming out and confronting Xavier Woods. And eventually, you know, those guys would go back and forth, and Big E would apologize for everything that he happened to do to the New Day back in the day. And he said, hey, I was coming out here to try and see if we could rekindle the New Day, the New Day, the what we had back in the day before I ruined it. And Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston just did not want any of that, understandably. They did not want that, and they were kind of going in a different direction towards, obviously, their newer direction. And Big E's like, well, if you guys are going down that path, I'm not. I ruined a lot of relationships when I went down that path when I was just thinking about myself. If you guys are going down that route, go ahead. Well, we'd see attacks from both sides of situations. Big E would try to help out Trick Williams as much as possible. And then Adam Pearce would make this tag team match official for Vengence Day, with Big E and Trick Williams taking on the New Day. But now, this isn't your normal rivalry. You throw in now the Nigerian giant Omos into this situation, and it becomes even more combustible than it already has. As we got Xavier Woods kicking us off, as well as Trick Williams. Referee rings the bell. Here we go. Trick Williams, Xavier Woods live here tonight, kicking us off a part of this tag team matchup. And I'm very curious to see how involved in this matchup does Omos get involved. And look at those big old haymakers right there to Xavier Woods. Right to the forehead area. Certainly Trick Williams would love to inflict some more pain on Xavier Woods. Not saying that he wouldn't want to on Kofi Kingston, but Woods is the one that really started this whole shebang. Nice combination, leg drop and splash. And now Kofi Kingston going for another splash. Did not work out. NXT champion, North American champion, pardon me, Trick Williams was able to roll out. And now Irish Whip off the ropes. Williams showing some agility here into a, oh, nice uppercut there. Takes down Kofi Kingston. This is the type of tag team match that will definitely build up some momentum going into 2026 even further. And you never know. We have been hinting at some changes once again. Yes, we did have a WWE draft coming out of that lovely episode, or I should say that WWE draft coming out of WrestleMania. We've had 2 drafts into 2025. It seems like a lot of you guys, for the most part, want to see maybe an updated draft style. The Rock was very hands-on with that drafting process, and you know, Triple H couldn't really do much about it because, you know, The Rock is Triple H's boss. So, I mean, you kind of had to deal with the punches and the new changes. And I'm not saying that I didn't like the changes that The Rock did, but it just felt so forced. You know, everything was working quite well here. A part of the draft system as Xavier Woods breaks up that pinfall attempt. There's Woods and Big E going at it here. A little taste. Oh, that's a nice clothesline, gets Kofi Kingston back in this matchup, but I would be on the lookout coming up after Saturday night's main event. Certainly a thing to really look out forward to, really seeing where the future of Raw, NXT, and SmackDown, will it continue how it is? Will there be some changes? I mean, it's just something to really look forward to as Big E flips Kofi Kingston, and now Kofi is screwed up in almost a Walls of Jericho situation, but Kofi, luckily for him, he was able to get himself out. Certainly not the best feeling in the world to have all that weight on your lower back, but Kofi, the wily veteran that he is, able to get himself out of it. Now Kofi and Xavier will look to go to work as a big axe handle takes it to Big E. And I'm curious, you know, if that attack didn't happen, was Big E going to be coming out anyway and trying to rekindle what happened? You know, the years of dominance that the New Day had here to be one of the best tag teams here in the history of not only WWE but for Universe mode. We've seen so many great tag teams come through here in WWE. Certainly the likes of the Usos, the New Day, the Hardy Boys, you know, so on and so forth. So there's a little bit of everything happening here in WWE as Kofi and Xavier Woods really cutting off the ring here. This is a good strategy to have against your former friend. The big X handle right to the midsection there of Big E. Something snapped in Xavier Woods and Big E. Or I should say Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. And certainly they wanted to go the way that Big E essentially went. And Big E, you know, he's like, hey, I don't want any more of that. I screwed up. I wanted to pay for my sins, essentially. And Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston said, well, good for you, but we're going down this route. If you want to join us, so be it. But if not, you know, you're going to be in our way. As Big E was trying to crawl over to the corner, but Woods is like, no, you're not. And now they're going to exchange some blows here, it looks like. And Big E with these gut punches right here to Xavier Woods. Man, those are almost like knockout blows, man, especially right to the kidneys, right to the ribs. Referee almost kind of looked like he was blocking a tag there. As a belly-to-belly over the head suplex. Big time maneuver there from Big E. In a matchup I honestly would love to see, if we ever get to see it here in Universe mode, but Big E and Omos, two big guys going at it. It's a nice gut buster there from Woods. Has Big E in trouble. Now I'm surprised Woods didn't try to go for the pinfall. He's going to allow Kofi Kingston to pick up the scraps. Big E barely moving after getting hit with that gut buster. And now Kofi looking for that boom drop right to the ribs. Bam, right there. And again, Big E still not moving. Is that the knockout blow that they need? 2. Ooh, Big E. Luckily for himself, he was able to kick out. Trick Williams was trying to break it up. The referee was kind of in the way. And I don't blame him. He didn't want to hit the referee there. But sometimes, I mean, some of these guys are highly athletic. You could jump over the referee in those situations and break it up. But, you know, obviously they don't want to affect anything. That was a brutal slap across the chest there of Big E, and very impressive enough to take down the big man. But certainly there's going to be a lot coming out of Saturday night's main event later on today. A lot of big-time matches there from top to bottom, including CM Punk, Finn Balor. Big-time match up there. Plus, we got, you know, the women's matches, 3 big women's matches. So, I mean, there's from top to bottom tonight, from NXT to Saturday night's main event, a lot of great action. And certainly with some of these guys in this matchup, they've been all over Raw and SmackDown. So they know how to get a job at a good pace. And obviously NXT being trying to be treated as an equal instead of a developmental brand is what they're trying to do. And so far, I think they're doing quite well. They've been dealing with TNA. Trouble in Paradise. Trouble in Paradise there from Trick Williams. He just stole Kofi's finisher. Is that enough? Oh, Kofi breaks it, or I should say Kofi kicks out, but Xavier Woods was going to be right there to break it up. That was very strategic, I would say, of Trick Williams, trying to humiliate Kofi Kingston. Hey, he'd be like, hey, I beat you by using your own finisher. That is disrespectful. But certainly, hey, that's what Trick Williams wants to do, especially since this New Day, you could call it the New Day, essentially. But yeah, it would have been definitely a moment for sure, as Big E just breaking up that pinfall, and Kofi Kingston looking to continue to go to work here against Trick Williams. Maybe cut off the ring, maybe look to hit some big time maneuvers in this matchup to keep down the Trick Williams. And hey, maybe with a win tonight, New Day can, at least one of those members of the New Day can challenge for the NXT North American Championship. It's a nice impaler DDT, takes down Trick Williams. New Day with all the momentum. Trick Williams is in trouble. Can he stay in this matchup? You can feel the momentum swinging, and a nice maneuver there from Woods. Now into another pinfall opportunity. Referee is in position. 2. Ooh, very close. Just a little over 2. This is where the NXT North American Champion has to figure out how to get himself out of this predicament. Does he continue to stay in this matchup, or does he try to get a tag as a stomp right to the chest area of Trick Williams into another pinfall opportunity? Is this enough? 2. Oh, so close. So close to knocking off Big E and Trick Willie tonight. Ooh, big chop right there. Now, I'm not sure what Trick Williams was trying to, but he got tripped. And look at Kofi mocking the New Day collapse. Big E not taking to exception to that. And now Big E with a side slam to Kofi Kingston. And the straps are coming down. You know it's getting serious. You know it's about to go down. And now Hard Irish Whip off the ropes. Kofi with the big reversal. Going for a big chop once again right to the big chest there of Big E. And now Kofi, what is he setting up for? Telling Big E to get up to his feet. Top rope big time forearm right to the top of the dome. And right now New Day could be a matter of moments from knocking off former New Day member Big E. Big time trouble in paradise. Pinfall. Is this enough? No. Trick Williams saves the day. Kofi Kingston, he's like, that would have been the best moment to do it. He realizes that was the best opportunity for them to walk out victorious, but now he has to continue to bring the fight to Big E. He has to inflict some more pain, but that certainly will not be easy. As Big E gets the tag, probably a good idea. Give himself a little bit of a breather. Kofi realizes a big predicament as a big spear to the outside. And now Trick Williams from the top rope district, almost trying to be a distraction here. Oh, what a reversal from Kofi Kingston. Catching him, hitting with a spinning side slam. And now throws him down to the barricade. That ain't going to be feeling good, I can tell you that. And now Williams going to work here on Kofi Kingston. We knew this matchup was going to be brutal, ladies and gentlemen, but certainly it is getting to that stage of this matchup. It is going to get very, very personal very, very quickly. And possibly we could see weapons getting involved in this matchup, even though this is a normal tag team matchup with normal rules. I wouldn't be surprised if we would see maybe a weapon getting involved. As Kofi Kingston, I'm not sure what he's doing. He's taking his time walking around the ring here, taking his time, and he can do that. I think he just wanted to recuperate essentially in the situation as he hits him with a back suplex. And especially when you have this big Nigerian big man, the Nigerian giant Omos, you can do whatever the hell you want. Hopefully we'll figure out what the hell is going on with this situation, if Omos is officially part of the New Day, or what the hell is going on. Look at these strikes from Kofi Kingston. And, oh, nice standing drop kick, takes down Trick Williams. Obviously, Kofi wants to send a message after losing that championship match to Trick Williams a number of weeks ago, live on NXT, as Kofi from the top rope misses the elbow, and now Trick Williams has to figure out something quickly. He's going to have to hit that jumping knee if he can. And no, trouble in paradise. Trick Williams blocked what he thought was going to happen, but he didn't block that second part, what was coming. But Big E right there to save the day. And Woods, Big E with the hard Irish whip into the corner now. Trick Williams, he's got a big cut on his forehead there, ladies and gentlemen. He's got to figure out something now as well. Trick Williams is busted open. I should say not Kofi, but it could be a matter of time. We could see Kofi Kingston getting busted open as well, as now Trick Williams, is going to get Big E back inside the ring. We'll see if Big E can put the final touches of this matchup away. And look at him building up some steam with a big splash. But Xavier Woods right there to save the day, middle of that ring. And now Big E, he's ready to end it. Can he end it for good? Big E, here we go. Big ending to Kofi Kingston. Is that it? 1, 2, 3. Big E and Trick Williams knock off the New Day here tonight. And Omos didn't get involved, as far as I'm aware, didn't get involved in this matchup whatsoever. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Maybe they're trying to use Omos as a tactic of sorts, but hey, big win for Big E and Trick Williams tonight. And that rivalry that's been brewing since the first episode of NXT, obviously Big E and the former members of the New Day, that's been brewing up for a couple of years. And obviously them both being on the same brand intensifies things. But at the end of the day, Big E and Trick Williams knock off the New Day. And certainly, we get some more questions than we do answers here. Is obviously, is Omos a part of the New Day? What's next for Big E? What's next for Trick Williams? Certainly, we don't know, especially coming out of tonight's event, and also coming out of later on tonight of Saturday night's main event, what exactly everything looks like. But we'll have to wait and see. But hey, hard-fought match for Big E and Trick Williams, but they get the job done tonight here at Vengeance Day. From one tag team matchup to another, we got ourselves the NXT Tag Team Championships being on the line, as we got Fraxium taking on the Usos. Fraxium recently winning a triple threat tornado tag team match to get themselves this opportunity. And certainly this tag team has so much potential, and just in terms of what they bring, that speed, the agility, that's what's so good about these guys. And like I said before, really 2025, maybe even 2024, didn't really get too many opportunities. I would say they get them here and there, but hey, Fraxium could be a household name here going into the future. We'll see how it goes against the Usos tonight. One of the best tag teams, if not the best tag team of all time. And that's saying something. Just very well accomplished are the Usos. But the Usos have a tough test with that speed and agility and everything else that Frazier and Axiom bring to the table. And now here comes the Usos, the tag team champions, Jimmy and Jay Uso. And there they are, the NXT Tag Team Champions. The Usos certainly were a big draft pick for NXT. A lot of these picks for NXT, you really wouldn't expect them to be drafted over here. But hey, NXT is a third brand. It is not a developmental brand. So certainly when you see some of this stuff, it's like, wow, I wasn't expecting so and so here in NXT. Oh, they should be on Raw or SmackDown. Well, a part of that redo of that, or I shouldn't say redo, but the newer draft that we had recently, The Rock really opened up what NXT was and gave it to, hey, you can draft anyone you want. And Adam Pearce took that to heart, and he drafted Cody Rhodes as the first pick, got Gunther, the Usos, the New Day, Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, and so on and so forth. So, a lot of stuff going on here that does great things for NXT.
The following contest is a tag team match scheduled for one fall and is for the NXT Tag Team Championship. Introducing the challengers and a combined weight of 336 pounds. Nathan Fraser and Axiom. And their opponents at a combined weight of 493 pounds, the NXT Tag Team Champions, Jimmy and Jay, the Usos.
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the Tag Team Championships to be defended. Will the Usos retain, or will Fraxium get their first ever championship gold here in the series? We are about to find out. Referee rings the bell. We got Nathan Frazier and Big Jimmy Uso here. And Axiom and Nathan Frazier are going to look to speed up here very quickly. You're going to see it here. It's Frazier with a nice missile drop kick, and now Axiom will look to go to work here. And this is not what Jimmy Uso wants. He does not want these guys to start flying around. Certainly, especially when you got guys that are probably the fastest in all in WWE. These guys start flying around. It's almost going to be like flies. They're going to be coming out of nowhere. It's going to be highly unexpected. It might be an issue in this matchup. But Jimmy and Jay, they've accomplished a lot in the tag team division. Jay Uso is a former European champion here in the series. So, certainly Jay's won some championships as well. So, they're one of the best of all time. But you can't look past Fraxium tonight. It's going to be a tough test. Oh, going to walk the ropes. Here comes Axiom. Nice maneuver there from Axiom. And now I'm going to go for the pinfall. Good opportunity. I don't think it's going to be the knockout blow. But, hey, you get a 2 out of it. A nice drop kick out of that kind of walk under the ropes situation. And for the Usos, what is the strategy for them going into this matchup? Yes, slowing them down, but, does Jay decide to be in this matchup a little bit longer? Does, Jimmy, what's the situation there? It's a big situation that we'll have to figure out here tonight as Jimmy gets tossed into the corner, but a big elbow from Big Jim. Now, big time basic suplex there, but that will definitely do some damage. And now Jimmy will get the tag to his brother, Yeet Man himself, Jey Uso. Oh, but he gets dropped with a drop kick just like that. And that's what happens when you take on fast guys, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, they bring a whole different dimension of how quickly they can get to you compared to these maybe slower guys. Look at this tag team combination. And I believe Jey, yes, busted wide open on the forehead there. Something must have caught him, because I think it was almost like that senton off the rope. I thought it targeted the ribs, but something hit the forehead of Jey Uso. And right now, Jey's tasting his own blood right now. And Fraxium doing quite well against the Usos here. And if they can continue this right now, we may see new tag team champions. Now, I don't want to get ahead of myself here, because the Usos have done quite well here in the series, but you know, it could be a one-off night, and Fraxium can walk out with the tag team championships. As Axiom accidentally taken out there from Frazier. You know, this is where Frazier can get very dangerous out his side here at ringside. But also, you don't want to take on any of these Samoans here at ringside. They can use it to their advantage as well. Like we said, with Jey winning multiple tag team championships with his brother Jimmy, and obviously Jey has won the European Championship before, so he knows how to get it done in singles action. As Jey with a big axe handle takes down Frazier. Jey needs to stay on Frazier. You cannot allow him to get a tag here, Jey. And this is what he's about to do. He's setting up a super kick, I believe. Bam! He hits it flush right there on the chin. Knockout blow, and now Big Jim gets the tag in here. Frazier literally in the landing zone for Jey or Jimmy to hit an Uso splash, but deciding not to do that, and it keeps Frazier and Axiom in this matchup for the time being. And now, double super kick there. Little shades of the Usos with their own double super kicks. As now, Axiom telling Big Jim to get up to his feet here. Here comes. Nice missile drop kick. Folds him like an accordion. And now, what is Axiom setting up from the corner here? Axiom. Oh, goodness. Almost like a variation of a Canadian destroyer there. But instead of having him in the legs, he grabs him by his arms of sorts. I'm not sure what the official name for that is, but very effective. Very effective. Double shoulder tackle into a nice standing moonsault. Frazier and company have the Usos right where they want them, and as soon as I say that, Big Jim able to move out the way, and now the Usos, well, I thought maybe they were going to be able to capitalize, not in that moment, and now Frazier, talking some trash there, and that split second gave Jimmy Uso enough to get himself the momentum and a pinfall, referee in position, but no, not even a 1 count. And now Jimmy fired up here, looking to put down Nathan Frazier. Super kick. That hits flush. And now maybe another super kick, maybe? Yes, it is. 2 for 2. Are we going to see a trifecta of super kicks? Yes, we do. It's one way to do it. Frazier, he's trying to survive right now, and he does. He's going to really work on his jaw there. But this is a 2-on-1 situation now for the Usos. They have to capitalize here. Axiom is in trouble. Nathan Frazier is in trouble. The Usos might be able to defend their championships tonight and still be the NXT Tag Team Champions. But Axiom able to slip out of it, attack that open wound on the forehead there of Jey. Oh, walking the ropes here. Oh, nice impaler DDT there to Jey Uso into the pinfall. We might have new tag team champions. 2. No, Jey kicks out at 2.5. This is the type of matchup you want to see you quote unquote the underdogs and Fraxium having to really bring the fight as almost like a Canadian destroyer, but it's a Frankensteiner there from Axiom. And right now, the Usos are fighting for their lives tonight. They may have met their match. as Jay tosses him in the corner, goes for a super kick, misses wildly, but the second time around he hits it. And another super kick just for good measure. And Axiom gets the tag to Nathan Frazier now. Nice dodge there, but Jay's like, nope, you're not going to take any more of that. And now the Usos, not going to go for the tag there just yet. Oh, nice drop kick into the corner. Into the pinfall. Enough to retain the championships. No, Frazier kicked out, and Axiom was going to be there no matter what as well. Going for another super kick, going to the well one too many times in this matchup. And, oh, but the second time around it connects. I mean, it's super kick city tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Just too much kicks to the temple. And now Jay going to look to get the tag to Jimmy, and he does. We're in the point in this matchup, man, that, this is survival of the fittest at this moment. Jay and Jimmy got to figure out something. That spear out of nowhere could be enough to keep them around a little bit longer, and it is. The Usos, they survive barely tonight, but hey, that is what they've done their whole career, survive at any means possible, and they did it tonight, retaining the NXT Tag Team Championships. What a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Big win for the Usos. A lot of back and forth here tonight. Look at this maneuver from Axiom here. Going to be on that top rope, and then bam, a moonsault into a DDT. Was not enough there. Jay and Jimmy would continue going back and forth with Frazier, but right here, spear, bam. Very effective maneuver we've seen in the series for a long time, and it gets the job done tonight here at Vengeance Day. As Jay and Jimmy continue to still be your NXT Tag Team Champions. What a match, though. For Axiom, they're going to be around for a very, very long time here in the Tag Team division.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the NXT Women's North American Championship.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your NXT Women's North American Championship matchup. As you got Johnny Gargano accompanying Candice LeRae down the ring, as Candice LeRae challenges Thea Hale for the NXT North American Championship. Certainly, it's a whole different ball game now for Johnny Gargano. He's essentially going at it by himself. Obviously, he has his wife by his side, no longer having Tommaso Ciampa, as Ciampa leaves WWE. Now Gargano gets to focus on himself, focuses on him and his wife. So we'll see how this is going to go, man. I mean, a lot of potential. He is a former WWE champion, won at Elimination Chamber, going on to main event WrestleMania. He lost to Adam Cole, but certainly, I mean, Gargano getting a taste of main eventing WrestleMania, winning the WWE Championship a month prior in Elimination Chamber. I mean, Gargano has done a lot of good things. Raw Tag Team Champions multiple times. Former NXT Champion. Former NXT Tag Team Champion. So, I mean, you can't doubt what Gargano brings to the table. And recently on NXT, we had a mixed gender tag team matchup between the likes of Gargano and Candice LeRae taking on Chase University, Andre Chase, and Thea Hale there. And ultimately, Gargano would make Thea Hale tap out, and then they would beat them down after the matchup. So the disrespect is definitely there for Gargano and Candice LeRae, and they could really care less who they face, but they don't like these two. They don't like this Chase University on how they run things. And we'll see if Thea Hale and Andre Chase can well, more like Thea Hale, rebound, and we'll see if she can still be the NXT North American champion tonight. And it is for that prestigious NXT Women's North American Championship.
Introducing the challenger from Riverside, California, Candice LeRae. And her opponent from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the NXT Women's North American Champion, Thea Hale.
Both women seem like they're ready, as they should be. Thea Hale's a multi-time NXT Women's North American Champion. Can she retain it, or will she once again lose the championship? We will find out in just a matter of moments. Referee rings the bell, and look at Candice LeRae trying to come right out the gate there. And looking to steal one right away here. But no, Thea Hale able to kick out right away. That's what Candice LeRae's got to do. Keep Thea Hale on her toes here. You never know what may happen. Thea Hale really wrenching in on that shoulder blade area. Thea going to try to out-wrestle Candice LeRae. Probably not the best idea, but I mean, there's one way you got to handle things, and what a way to do it than trying to out-wrestle Candice LeRae. Doesn't work out for a lot of superstars, but it's certainly one way to do it. And imagine if Candice LeRae is able to walk out victorious and still be, I shouldn't say still be, but be the newest North American champion here. I mean, I think that would do wonders for Candice LeRae. Not saying I want to see Thea Hale lose, because she's been kind of back and forth with her championship reigns, but you know, not everything's going to be rainbows and butterflies and everything. You're going to have some ups and downs, but for Thea Hale, she's really got to, be more consistent when she's taking on these challenges. It's both these women going back and forth here. Thea Hale ain't backing down from a slap fest with Candice LeRae. She's standing toe to toe. Thea Hale being a little cocky there, I would say, and say, hey, do it again, why don't you? Back and forth we go. Big haymaker there from Thea Hale again. A nice backhand from Candice. Back and forth we go. Who wants the upper hand? Who wants the NXT Women's North American Championship? Oh, nice haymakers there again. And now from the top rope, District Big Axe handle misses, but Thea Hale still had enough time to capitalize that swinging neck breaker. And look at Gargano yelling at Thea Hale, and the referee telling him to worry about himself. And now we got ourselves a Kimura lock here on Candice LeRae. Referee doesn't see it because Gargano is getting involved, and it really helped out his wife momentarily. And now Gargano on the apron here. Frog splash, but misses. And Thea Hale with a nice running knee right to the temple. Could be a knockout blow of sorts if they're not careful. Big kick to that quad as both women continue to go at it here at ringside. Are we going to see a sharpshooter here? Nope. We're going to use her as a surfboard real quick. Going to stomp her lights out here at ringside. As now Candice tosses her down to the other side of the arena here. Got to be very, very careful as that top turnbuckle is still exposed. Referee has not fixed it just yet, which is very surprising. A lot of referees, they see it, they're like, oh crap, I gotta fix this quickly. And now Candice from the top rope. Big time Hurricane Rana takedown. into the pinfall. Referee is in possession, a little bit slow. Could have at least gotten a one count out of it. And now Candice, what is she thinking about doing? Did not work out whatever she had in mind. Back and forth we go. Who really wants it more? At the end of the day, it's a big enziguri, takes her down to the outside. Here comes Candice through the bottom rope and hits her with a nice Hurricane Rana. Candice LeRae has all the momentum. Could we be moments away from seeing a new Women's North American champion? Candice LeRae has worked her ass off throughout the years with opportunities and would love to get herself another championship. She has been a former women's tag team champion with Indy Hartwell years and years ago, but this is a different version of Candice LeRae as well. Indy Hartwell is no longer with the company. As Candice trying to toss her right into the steel steps, Thea Hale had enough strength in her legs to really slow it down. And now Thea Hale from behind, gonna look to make her pay, but no, big forearm from Candice. And now gonna look for the Gargano escape, or Gargano lock of sorts. But obviously Thea Hale is very close to the ropes. And now Candice LeRae from the top rope, frog splash again, but misses, and another knee. That's the second time that knee has connected. And Thea Hale might be able to walk out victorious here. 2, no, 2.5. The matchup continues. How much more can you withstand here, ladies and gentlemen? And now Johnny Gargano getting involved. Gargano does not need to get involved here. I know it's his wife here. He's going to make sure she walks out victorious, but still does not need to do that as LeRae, gets reversed out of that maneuver, getting destroyed by that uppercut. And now Thea, what is she thinking about doing? Oh, now she's gonna go around a little bit, stomp the soul out of Candice LeRae. The crowd is absolutely fired up. I'm not sure if that will be enough, but you never know. 2, no, 2.5. Candice LeRae still fighting for her life. Very competitive Women's North American Championship matchup here. And now Candice in a bad predicament as another Kimura lock, but again, referee right there does call the rope break. The first time around, Johnny Gargano got involved, but Candice got out of that the very first time pretty quickly. And now Thea Hale, is this going to be the knockout blow she needs to put away her challenger? Barely hits a flying cross body. It grazes the head here as again Gargano getting involved. Referee needs to do something about this. As Gargano's just been just chatting it up this whole time, trying to get in the head of Thea Hale. Oh, wait a minute. Looking for a cross or a... Nope, we're going to go for the surfboard again. Every time I see it, it seems like she's going to go for a sharpshooter of sorts. And I think Gargano just got tossed. But is it enough for her to win the championship? No. Gargano gets tossed finally. And now, essentially, it's a 2-on-1 with Andre Chase being here at ringside. But I don't think he's really gotten involved in this matchup whatsoever. He's there for moral support, there for Thea. Now Candice with a hard Irish whip off the ropes into a nice DDT. Spikes her on her temple. And now, wait a minute. Candice LeRae. Springboard Hurricane Rana there from the top. Who really wants the championship more? Candice or Thea? Gargano seems like he maybe wanted it more than both of them because he got he got kicked out. He got involved a lot more. And now Candice from the second rope. What does she have in mind? Oh, big axe handle. Maybe it could be the killer blow. It could be the knockout blow. Simple and effective maneuver. Was it enough? Yes, it is. We have once again a new Women's North American champion. A lot of back and forth in this matchup. You can thank Johnny Gargano for that, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of back and forth, but ultimately Candice LeRae, she felt the way tonight, had to DIY herself to a win tonight towards the end of that matchup because obviously Johnny Gargano got kicked out. But Thea Hale just could not execute towards the end of the stretch, and again losing this matchup right here. Like if she hits that a little bit better, probably goes for the pinfall a little bit better. Gargano getting involved again, then Candice LeRae would stomp her out in the middle of the ring. It still wouldn't be enough at that time. Then right here, bam, Hurricane Rana takes her down. Eventually, with Candice LeRae with a brief kind of axe handle to the body, and it was just too much for Thea Hale tonight. And Candice LeRae is your new Women's NXT North American Champion, and we'll see what it looks like in the very first episode for NXT after NXT's Vengeance Day. And now we get to a very personal rivalry ever since coming out of NXT Stand and Deliver. Losing those tag team championships certainly took a toll of sorts for Stephanie Vaquer and Julia. Or I should say, either way, they lost the championships around NXT Stand and Deliver time, if not NXT, but still losing that championship for Julia, it snapped. Absolutely snapped Julia. She called Stephanie Vaquer dead weight, and eventually with attacks and everything in between, Stephanie Vaquer is like, hey, you know what? Why don't you come and face me woman to woman, and we'll see who the better woman is. Come take my crown from me. Two top women in all of WWE battling it out for the very first time ever here live tonight at NXT Vengeance Day. Big moment for two of these top women. It's a damn shame it has to come this way, but hey, I mean, it was bound to happen eventually. There's only so much ego that somebody can have. And that's Julia for you. She believes that she's on top of the world. She believes that she was, like I mentioned, carrying the dead weight here. Which you hate to see. I mean, Stephanie Vaquer did a lot for that tag team. Yes, did Julia do more? Yes. But, I mean, at the end of the day, you just hate to see it. But, hey, it's going to be a good time. Singles matchup. Could be the match of the night. Seriously, it very well could be. We have another matchup coming up next, Roxanne and Blake Monroe. So we'll see if we'll see if we have a new champion there. But certainly, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, it is a tough sight to see. There's pros and cons to this matchup. Yes, we would love to see it, but we didn't want to see it come apart like it did. So we'll see how it goes coming out of this matchup. And I mean, I really like both women. I don't know who to root for. Obviously, you'd probably say Stephanie Vaquer because of how Julia did stuff, but I mean, I just don't know. It sucks that it happened out this way. Referee rings the bell. Here we go. Here comes Stephanie Vaquer and Julia. It's a big reversal from Julia, overpowering Stephanie Vaquer in this situation. And again, Julia just one step ahead of Stephanie Vaquer this whole time. Oh, and a big kick to the midsection there. Referee didn't take that too kindly. And ultimately, at the end of this matchup, we are going to figure out who the better woman is here. Is it Julia? Is it Stephanie Vaquer? Certainly, Stephanie Vaquer wants to continue to grow. Julia has done quite well. You could say a little bit more in the terms of big-time match wins. Julia has won more in that department. But, Julia did not defeat Roxanne at NXT Stand and Deliver. And then eventually, they would lose the tag team championships to Bayley and Lyra Valkyria there on NXT. So certainly there's, frustration as Julia believes that, she's starting to go down a little bit here, probably. Having two top women like Julia and Stephanie Vaquer, it shows where this division can be in the terms of, okay, hey, you know, coming out of NXT, we have these top women. Okay, Julia and Stephanie Valkyrie, they've been looking to climb up the rankings. Is a little bit of a slip there from Stephanie Valkyrie. She goes the opposite direction for some reason, connects with a super kick, but now both women are now going to get into a striking battle here. This was bound to happen. This is very personal between both of these women here. Chop for chop, slap for slap, trying to send a message. We saw it earlier in another women's matchup. Now we're going to see it between two of the top women here in NXT. But Julia now, she's toying with Stephanie. Big forearms, multiple strikes here, and now trips her. And now, almost like an STF submission hold here. Will Stephanie have to tap out? Middle of the ring, but no. Stephanie gets out of it momentarily. It's going to take a little bit more than a potential submission hold there to put her away. And now Julia going back to work with those kicks. Stephanie Valkyrie does not know where she's at. She was probably seeing double there at times. And now Stephanie trips Julia, and now her own version of an STF. But referee right there to stop the the rope break, I should say. Stephanie Valkyrie, missing that missile drop kick, that springboard missile drop kick. And right now, Julia has Stephanie Valkyrie very flustered, I would say. Missing maneuvers left and right. And right now, if Valkyrie does not figure it out, she may have a long day ahead of her. And Julia might be able to pick up the pieces tonight. There's now Julia. Here we go, Julia. A spinning power slam pinfall attempt. Is that going to be it? 2. Oh, just a 1 count. Very close to a 2, though. And now Julia. Going for that knee strike. Stephanie Valkyrie had that well scouted and will now look to go to work. Now stomps away on Julia there briefly as Valkyrie double knees into the corner. This is what Stephanie Valkyrie needs right now. Going to go for the pinfall attempt. Referee is in position. 2. No, just a 2 count. Bunny left in the tank. And now we'll see what Stephanie can do to Julia here. Send a message to Julia. Here we go. Oh, vicious backbreaker. Is that enough to keep the beautiful madness down? Oh, so close. 2.5. Stephanie almost had her. Now Stephanie is looking for something. Julia was able to reverse out of it. Now can Julia get herself back in this matchup? Julia's all fired up here. Here we go. Julia has her up. Drops her down for a brain buster. Pinfall. Is this it? 1, 2. Oh, very close. 2.5. Julia thought she had her. Oh, into a knee strike right to the temple. Oh, and a vicious headbutt. Man, you could hear that from the cheap seats, man. She connected flush with that headbutt. Definitely a knockout blow. There's a nice arm drag takedown there from Stephanie Valkyrie. Back and forth we go. Both these women know each other quite well. Former NXT Women's Tag Team Champions going at it here. Big forearm strike there from Stephanie. And now Valkyrie, swinging neck breaker, takes Julia to the outside here. And still to come tonight, we have an NXT Women's Championship matchup between Roxanne and Blake Monroe. Plus your main event tonight, Cody Rhodes versus Gunther for the NXT Championship. Oh, nice running kick to the temple of Stephanie Valkyrie. And Stephanie, toss right into that post. And normally that would be an LED post, but tonight, that's a good old-fashioned post, a steel post of sorts. Now down to the other side. Or I guess maybe it's more of a metal post, but whatever it is, it's very brutal to run into. As now Julia, looking to go high risk here, goes for the axe handle. Doesn't have much really spunk in that maneuver. And now she's going to pay with a big-time back suplex. We knew this matchup was going to be brutal, ladies and gentlemen. It's just going to really come down to who wants it more at the end of the night here. As Stephanie connects with a big knee strike right next to these chairs here that are announced our announcer Alicia Taylor is next to. No, vicious neck breaker, man, or backstabber, whatever you want to call it. Highly effective. And now Stephanie Vaquer tosses Julia back inside the ring. Can Stephanie pick up a major win here? Looking to knock off Julia. Can Stephanie do it? 1, 2. No, at the very last second, Julia kicks out. This is where Stephanie has to be great. She has to go from good to great. She has to be able to capitalize in this situation. Look at this armbar submission, but Julia, with a corkscrew head scissor, gets herself out of that situation. As now Julia, with an Irish whip, runs right into the referee inadvertently, and now Julia with a deep suplex. She really got down deep for that maneuver. And now Julia, she's really toying with Stephanie Vaquer. She believes that she has it right where she wants her. Julia now, here we go. Gonna look to put her away. No, Stephanie Vaquer gets herself out of that situation. And now, here comes Vaquer, looking for that backbreaker again. Oh my goodness. Very vicious. Pinfall. 1, 2, 3. Stephanie Vaquer gets her redemption. She gets that revenge, and she knocks off Julia here tonight live at NXT Vengeance Day. She gets her vengeance on NXT Vengeance Day. There for a little bit, I thought it was going to go in the favor of Julia, but luckily for Stephanie, her and Julia would go outside the ring and they would go at it for a little bit. I think that's what saved Stephanie Vaquer in this matchup. Stephanie with a big win tonight. Big question is this just the start of this rivalry? Are we going to see them again on NXT with all these rumors of maybe an updated draft of sorts going on? We'll have to wait and find out. But ladies and gentlemen, what a predicament, what a matchup here tonight between Julia and Stephanie Vaquer. Big brain buster there. Very close. Let's see how close this was. 1, 2. Oh man, very close. But then we had Stephanie and Julia go at it here at ringside. Eventually Stephanie would hit another backbreaker and would put Julia away. Not in that situation. Look how deep Julia gets on the suplex, man. Man, she got all of that. But again, Stephanie Vaquer gets out of the situation. She's like, I gotta put her away now. Hits her up for a vicious backbreaker again in this matchup. And it was game, set, match over there for La Primera. Stephanie Vaquer picks up a win over Julia here tonight, live at NXT Vengeance Day. But up next, it is the NXT Women's Championship on the line. Roxanne is taking on Blake Monroe.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the NXT Women's Championship.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the NXT Women's Championship to be defended here tonight, as Blake Monroe challenges for Roxanne Perez's NXT Women's Championship. Blake Monroe winning a tag team matchup with Stephanie Vaquer a number of weeks ago to get herself this opportunity. And now Blake, all she has to do is walk out victorious. Wait a minute, hold on, Roxanne with a jumping strike. This is supposed to be for the NXT Women's Championship. Roxanne trying to make sure that she stays NXT Women's Championship holder here. And also, looking at I know this is very random, but Roxanne matching the colors for NXT Vengeance Day. She's making sure she's going all out for this matchup tonight. It's a damn shame it has to be like this at all. Matchup has not officially started. As Blake Monroe with a nice reversal. Back and forth you go. Maybe that means Roxanne believes that Blake Monroe is certainly a threat to the NXT Women's Championship. She probably wouldn't admit that, but certainly that's what we're getting right here, right now. With Roxanne getting stretched out and then big knees right to that lower back. Oh, Roxanne, oh, nice maneuver there. She fully got everything that she was trying to get, as both of these women just brawling here at ringside. This is for the NXT Women's Championship. Matchup has not officially started, so these women can do whatever they want to. Probably see some weapons get involved as well. Oh, super kick hits flush on the chin, or at least side, as Roxanne takes out Blake Monroe here. Into a, oh man, what a face buster as well. The Prodigy has taken it to Blake Monroe. And now Monroe tossed in the middle of the ring. Roxanne Perez. And now the matchup has officially started here, as both women going right through each other there. And now Blake, I mean, some damage has been done to Blake Monroe. She's got to be able to do 2 times as much damage as what Roxanne did to her at ringside. Especially that jumping almost like a Superman punch out of nowhere to attack Blake Monroe early. You know, there's something to really look out forward to. And Blake's the type of woman, she can take damage like that, excuse me. But, you know, when you think about it, I mean, that damage is going to add up, even if it is a little bit. That is Roxanne for you. She's willing to do anything that it takes to get the upper hand. It's a big kick right to the ribs, stuns Roxanne momentarily. And now Blake Monroe, this is the moment to try to get the upper hand over her if she can. And almost like a bear hug situation into a snapmare, and now her own little headlock of sorts now from Roxanne Perez. Multi-time NXT Women's Champion, multi-time NXT Women's Tag Team Champion is Roxanne Perez, and she does not plan on losing it anytime soon. Look at Roxanne really wrenching in on that shoulder blade, trying to really take it to her. But Blake able to get out of it momentarily, and big slaps and punches. Here comes Blake. And now a big back suplex. Folds the champion in half. Oh, wait a minute, Blake Monroe. Oh my goodness, a corkscrew through the air. Blake Monroe not backing down from a fight. She wanted a fight, she got a fight tonight. As now Blake Monroe tossing her to the other side of the arena here. You'll be very careful in this sort of matchup. It's big haymakers there from Blake Monroe, or to Blake Monroe. And now a good old-fashioned flying head scissors takedown there of the challenger. We'll see if that sneak attack from Roxanne is really going to add up. I think it's going to eventually, but Blake Monroe is just going to have to be able to slow down Roxanne and slow down any potential finishing maneuvers in this match. That's big punch of the ribs, slows down Roxanne, as now Blake Monroe, hard Irish whip into a side slam. Absolutely vicious side slam from Blake Monroe, and now Blake going to look to put away Roxanne Perez, looking for that future shock. No, Roxanne able to slip right out of it. And that is Roxanne Perez for you, ladies and gentlemen. She has been on top of her game. She has scouted Blake Monroe quite well. As into the pinfall. Will this be enough? 2. Ooh, 2.5. Very, very close. And now here comes Roxanne with the dodge. But Blake Monroe, with the long arms that she has, keeps herself in this matchup. There's another pinfall opportunity with the hook of the leg. Will this be enough? 2. Oh, so close. Blake Monroe can taste it. So close to becoming the new women's champion. Is now the Prodigy with a couple strikes to the face. Love it when the referee blocks our camera angles. As now a submission hold here to Blake Monroe, right in the middle of the ring. She may tap out. No. Able to get out of it. And Blake Monroe doing quite well against the champion so far, but it doesn't mean she's going to walk out victorious, though. It only takes one big-time maneuver to put away the challenger, possibly. And now Blake, hard Irish whip off the ropes, misses a wild clothesline. And now Roxanne is going to make her pay. I believe in she does. What a face buster. Now Blake Monroe is busted open. Roxanne Perez going to look to capitalize. Roxanne from the second rope. Here we go. Meteora. Meteora there to Blake Monroe. And now Blake Monroe, the glamour of NXT, is in a predicament. But a big knee right to the temple. Could that get her where she wants to be? She has her up and takes her down a second time. Second time tonight we've seen that maneuver. I believe the first time was at ringside here. Blake Monroe taking a lot of time right now if she wants to go for the pinfall. Shoulders are down. Is this enough? 2, 3 it is. And Blake Monroe is the new NXT Women's Champion. As look at that corkscrew maneuver in the air. What a beautiful moment here for the glamour of NXT to get her first ever championship and knock off the ever decorated champion Roxanne Perez. Roxanne had a hell of a reign as NXT Women's Champion, but Blake Monroe came back better than ever compared to their first matchup, and it was all she wrote tonight. Blake Monroe is your new NXT Women's Champion. She worked her ass off to get where she got to here in NXT, and now she's on top of the NXT Women's Division, and her name is Blake Monroe.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the NXT Championship.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your main event of the evening, as it will be the Ring General Gunther. He will be taking on Cody Rhodes for the NXT Championship. Now, Cody Rhodes and Gunther worked quite well this past episode of NXT/TNA. They went to enemy territory in TNA and defeated the TNA World Champion Kurt Angle and Nick Nemeth in tag team action. It was a tornado tag team match, to be exact. But now these guys go at it. The respect has been there. There hasn't been any quote unquote attacking of each other so far. But now this is a massive matchup. Who is going to walk out with the NXT Championship? Certainly a matchup that everyone is really looking forward to. But a thing for both Cody and Gunther to really think of in the back of their mind, Kurt Angle has suggested that there is more traders on Raw, NXT, and SmackDown that are officially signed secretly to NXT, or I should say to TNA. And the only one that knows about it is The Rock. Obviously Kurt Angle knew as well, but the only one that really knows about it as well is The Rock, the final boss. So I'm very curious to see if tonight we find out at all who is joining that TNA roster. So they already got some big names, but certainly, coming out of that event, we would all like to know what it is going to be looking like. As there is your NXT champion, Cody freaking Rhodes. No, I'm not making fun of Seth freaking Rollins, but there's Cody Rhodes, your NXT champion. This is going to be a very brutal match. Can Cody Rhodes survive the chops and the power bombs in this matchup? And then same for Gunther. Can he deal with those Cody cutters, those crossroads at times? Can he deal with those moonsaults as well? So Cody Rhodes, he's a multi-time WWE champion and will also look to continue to still be the NXT champion. But obviously with those rumors of more changes coming here after tonight's festivities at not only at Vengeance Day, but also coming up live there after Saturday night's main event as well. There's a lot of stuff that could be changing. Could be major changes, could be minor changes. We don't know, but some rumors have been kind of circulating that there may be some more changes on the way.
Introducing the challenger from Vienna, Austria, weighing in at 250 pounds, Gunther! And his opponent from Atlanta, Georgia, weighing in at 220 pounds, the NXT champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes.
And now it is main event time. Cody Rhodes, Gunther for the NXT Championship. Who is going to be your NXT champion coming out of NXT Vengeance Day? A lot is swirling in this NXT/TNA partnership. Who will continue to be NXT champion? Referee rings the bell. Here we go. Gunther, Cody Rhodes. Battle of two top-tier talents tonight. Something has to give, though. Nice drop kick there from Gunther, catching Cody Rhodes very unexpectedly. Cody was going for some kind of jump punch, I believe, and Gunther was able to really turn that inside out. And now Cody going to look to go to work here on Gunther here live at NXT Vengeance Day. There's a big stunner to the outside, takes down Gunther. And now Cody looking for maybe a suplex of sorts. Gunther realizes he's in trouble here early at ringside. And going for another drop kick. Cody saw that coming as well. Expect a lot of back and forth from these two. They know each other quite well in the terms of what they bring to the table. Gunther is a ruthless SOB, but he has not unleashed that on Cody Rhodes on the build up to this matchup. So, Gunther getting a little frustrated with Cody, trying to get Cody to wake up, and he does as he gets tossed back in the middle of the ring. I think Gunther was trying to set up a brutal chop, but luckily for Cody, a little bit faster in that exchange here. Love when the referee still loves to block the camera angle, as now Cody going to work here, still on Gunther, slowing down the matchup as much as he has to here. But that might also help out Gunther at the end of the day as well. As Cody just wrenches in right on that neck area of Gunther. Just really wrenching it in. He can honestly make this like a Coquina clutch if he really wanted to. We know Gunther can pull that out of his repertoire as well, so Cody has to be careful against doing that. And Cody didn't realize Gunther rolled out the ring, and he missed wildly with that moonsault. And now, and missing wildly once again was Gunther there. But he did not miss wildly there. That hit flush on the chest, and now Gunther off the ropes. Right to the midsection there of Cody. And now Gunther telling Cody Rhodes to get up to his feet. It's not going to bode well for one of these guys. Oh no, Cody Rhodes busted wide open right on the top of his temple there, on the right-hand side there, right above the right eye. And oh no, look at this. Look at Gunther. Look at Gunther, the big boot right to the neck area. And now Gunther telling Cody Rhodes to get up to his feet. Unless Gunther has a moonsault, he's not going to be able to really connect with that. And Gunther's kind of baiting Cody Rhodes to get himself back inside the ring here. And now Gunther looking to inflict some more pain. Cody Rhodes now looking for a pedigree. Pedigree hits flush. Middle of that ring. And now Cody going to look to end this matchup here. Is this going to be all she wrote? No, it won't. Gunther with a well-timed reversal. And now Gunther has Cody Rhodes right where he wants him. And look at these strikes. Look at these vicious strikes from Gunther. Cody Rhodes, we could be seeing a new NXT champion if this continues to pan out how it is, but you can never count out a man like Cody as a running bulldog, and now Gunther's busted open, I believe. And now Cody Rhodes from the second rope looking to take out Mr. Gunther, but no, Gunther catches him. Gunther catches him into a scoop slam. Both men busted wide open. This has been a hard-hitting matchup here. Now into another one. He can't believe it. Now he's gonna look to steal it. He's gonna use the ropes, but look, luckily for him, Cody was able to kick out of it. And now Gunther, oh goodness, what a lariat. And now another pinfall here. Referee trying to get in position, taking his sweet time, and just a 1 count there. Saves the matchup. And now, Gunther's looking to end this matchup right here, right now. Gunther, powerbomb. Right there to Cody Rhodes. Is this it? 2. No, 2.5. Very, very close. And look at Gunther. He's pissed off. He's telling him to get up to his feet. Oh, misses wildly with a clothesline. And now Cody might make him pay. We've already seen a pedigree. Can Cody do anything else to him? Now Cody seems like maybe he's going to try to slow down the matchup as much as possible here. Big gut punches, though, from the challenger, and then a running STO just for good measure. And now Gunther from the top rope district. Here we go. Oh, running, or that flying knee right to the chest area. And not a second time. Gunther, another power bomb. Certainly that has to be it. 2. No, Cody kicks out a second time. How much more can Cody withstand? He is literally getting his behind kicked as Cody gets out of that position as Gunther lands on his tailbone. And now here comes Cody. At least he was trying to, but Gunther has just been 1 step ahead of Cody Rhodes all of tonight. Oh, and then again right to the midsection. Cody's got to figure out something, ladies and gentlemen. He's struggling, let's just say, right now against Gunther. And look at this big boot. Cody Rhodes is getting all of that boot right to the chin area. Well, wait a minute. Oh, look at Cody. Cody able to get out of it. Was not expecting Cody to get out of that predicament. And now Rhodes tosses him back in the corner here. Let's see if he can inflict some more pain. Scoop slam. Very effective there. And now Cody looking to end it here maybe. Cody Rhodes from the top rope. Cody Cutter. Cody Cutter to Gunther. Is this it? Pinfall. 1, 2. No, 2.5. Gunther stays in the matchup. But maybe not for much longer though with a crossroads. Crossroads out of nowhere. Referee in position. 2. No, 2.5. 2.5. Both men have hit multiple big-time maneuvers, and it still has not been enough. There's now a submission hold here. Can you imagine if Gunther taps out center of that ring? It's a snapmare reversal takedown there from Gunther, as again he attacks that open wound on the face. Gunther again off the ropes, gonna land on the midsection again. Really trying to work that midsection as Gunther tells Cody to get up to his feet. And now off the ropes we go. Gunther now. Big power slam. And you got to believe the next power maneuver, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the winning maneuver in this situation. As now Cody surviving again, man. Look at the welts. Well, look at the welts on the back there of Cody Rhodes. And now Gunther with another scoop slam. And now Gunther, we're about to have ourselves a flying big man. Gunther with a frog splash misses, and Cody hits him with a running knee. Who is going to walk out victorious is now Cody from the top rope. Cody Rhodes, missile drop kick takes down the challenger. Any means necessary, shoulders are down. 2, no, 2.5. We knew this matchup was going to be brutal. We knew it was going to be physical, but these guys have been putting on a master class of professional wrestling tonight. As Gunther and Cody continue to go back and forth in this situation. Cody, looking for that pedigree, and it connects a second time in this matchup. And now Cody with a moonsault to work that lower back as well. Cody knows it's not going to be easy to keep Gunther down. And oh, wait a minute. Gonna work on a submission hold here. He wants to make Gunther tap out. Could you imagine Gunther tapping out here? But no, Cody Rhodes lets go of it. The matchup will continue. And now look at this scene. Both men. Cody Rhodes like, what do I got to do? What do I got to do to Gunther to keep him down? And now Cody Rhodes. Here we go. Cody Rhodes looking for the crossroads again. Crossroads to Gunther. Will that be enough? 1, 2, 3, and it is. Just barely surviving tonight. Cody Rhodes is still your NXT champion. What a matchup, ladies and gentlemen. Two absolute class acts in the terms of what they bring to professional wrestling. Cody Rhodes, Gunther tear down the place at NXT Vengeance Day, and still your NXT champion is Cody Rhodes. The amount of power bombs, the chops, the pedigrees, the Cody cutters, everything in between. Put it all on the line here tonight at a NXT Vengeance Day pay-per-view where we saw so many great things tonight, especially in the main event. I couldn't think of a better way. No interference from TNA, just two top WWE talents going at it here tonight live at NXT Vengeance Day. What a freaking match. And this is where one of the Cody cutters we'd see, bam! It wasn't enough at that time though, but again, Cody really, having to really dig down deep and showing you how damn good he is by knocking off Gunther to retain that NXT championship. A hard-fought win for Cody Rhodes. Blood, sweat, and tears to retain that championship, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of NXT Vengeance Day. Can't wait to see what the first episode of NXT looks like in 2026. But congratulations to the American Dream.